Hello, this is Dave Meggett. This is for the class HS, Human Services 4293, Summer 2019, and this is the Online 2 course. My name is Dave Meggett, and I will be your instructor for this course. As you can see over here, this is my phone number. I don't have a fax, and I will set up a virtual office via Google Hangouts, so that will be a reoccurring thing that happens Wednesdays, 5 to 6 p.m. So if you have any questions and you want to pop in during that time, let me know. Otherwise, you can email me. We can set up a different time. I can also do it by appointments, but that will be my regular scheduled hours. And so, of course, my email is Meggett, Meggittd, at lindsay.edu. And so, as you can read, the course description is we're going to introduce the basic principles, instruments, and test interpretation in the area of career, personality, and mental health assessment. Assessment's a vital aspect of the field, so it aids in a lot of things. Everything from helping people find out what characteristics are their strengths and can be related to career, just finding out who they are, and finding out about depression or anxiety. So we'll be exposed to lots of different instruments and assessments as we go along, and you'll see get some firsthand experience at using some of them and trying to evaluate using them. Of course, our text is New Krug and Fawcett, 2015. The Essentials of Testing and Assessment, 3rd edition, and that's Brooks Cole. And of course, BB, big B, little b, it means blackboard. We are expected to participate online discussions, the experiential activities, doing the assessments. Please do the readings, and of course, ask questions as we go along. I will stay on top of the online discussion and try to answer any questions that you may have as you go along. So if you have a question that isn't asked, then please email me. I may just miss it. The course objectives are to demonstrate a general understanding of the theory and rationale, understanding psychological assessment, demonstrate a general understanding of the theory and rationale underlying career development and assessment, and discuss a comprehensive selection of assessment instruments from areas such as personality assessment, psychological assessment, cognitive assessment, career and life planning assessment. We'll discuss the implications of professional and ethical issues unique to career and personality assessment, and demonstrate a familiarity with several of the more utilized objective personality and career assessment tools. Our human services and counseling student learning objectives, of course, are listed there. These are pretty consistent across most of your courses. Please make sure that your email address, phone number, and home address, if they've changed, that this information is updated in Banner. The core assignment is the signature assignment. This is called The Impact of Culture on Assessment Results, and it's a reflection paper. You will take an assessment and analyze it from both your own cultural experience as well as from an alternative perspective, as if someone from another culture. The reflection paper will be in APA format. A template will be provided, and it's already been provided in week 1. The student will submit their paper electronically to a Dropbox on the Blackboard course page, and that is also located in week 1. The total, and there'll be lots of submissions. You'll be doing different sections throughout as you go along. You'll see that in the time frames in the calendar. But the overall assignment is worth 100 points. After you submit it, I will be checking for submissions, and I will continually provide you feedback and update it as we go along. Any of the assessments you take, you're going to want to make sure that you save the results, because you're going to need those for later on. Some additional assignments: personal assessment experiences. you're going to participate in 3 separate online discussion boards related to the class text materials located on the Blackboard course page. I'll post a prompt for each discussion board, and you'll respond to each prompt and choose one other student to post a comment on. Save all of your online test results. You'll need them to complete the personal assessment report. So 3 discussion boards, 15 points each, is worth 45 points. The personal assessment report, you're going to create your own personal assessment report as if you were a client. The assignment in the report product is based on the content from Chapter 4, the assessment report process, interviewing the client and writing the report, and the report will include the assessment results from a variety of free tests the student will take online from the personal assessment experiences discussion board assignment above, and reflections on those results, and a variety of other personal environmental background information. The report will be in APA format, the template will be provided, and you'll submit your paper electronically to a Dropbox on the Blackboard discussion page, or course page, sorry. That assignment is worth 100 points as well. And then as we go along, you will also have quizzes that are going to be taken, and I will post your first quiz. I was planning on doing it tonight, but I will do it tomorrow, and that will be due at the end of the week. It's not going to be a very big quiz, but it is just to check and make sure that you're, reading your assignments and doing what you're required to do as far as spending that time studying. Quizzes could have multiple choice, essay, short answer, true-false matching, and ordering. You'll complete these quizzes through the Blackboard course page. And all of the quizzes together, there are 12 of them, one for each chapter, are worth 180 points. So your grand total is 425 points, and the scale is right here. An A is 400 to 425, an A minus 383 to 399, B plus 370 to 382, a B 353 to 369, a B minus 340 to 352, C plus 328 to 339, a C 298 to 327, and a D 255 to 297, and finally an F is 0 to 254. So here is the beginning of the signature assignment detailed description. As you can read through here, and I sent this link via the announcement that I sent yesterday, you'll take the open extended Jungian type scales, which is similar to the Myers-Briggs type indicator. This is a personality assessment, and so after you are done with that, you will end up with a 4-letter code. You will describe or get that result, and you're going to use it to complete the paper. Once you've completed it, you're going to write a self-reflection paper describing their overall experience with this assessment. Specifically, you're going to discuss how your results were influenced by your culture, giving specific examples from the assessment. After analyzing how your own culture influenced your responses in the test, the student, you will identify items on the assessment that might have a cultural bias or that might elicit responses based on cultural rather than construct being assessed, and the construct being assessed. And to conclude, the student will discuss how others from a different culture might respond differently and how it influenced their assessment results. So the basic outline for the reflection paper is listed below, and the template, and as you see throughout the coursework, or through the calendar and the dates, certain sections are due at certain times. So please make sure that you're following and reading carefully each section. So the personal description of the test and testing experience, at minimum 50 words. Describe the test in your own words in impressions. So B, my results and my cultural influence, at least 200 words. List, explain, and discuss your 4-letter personality code. Do you agree with it? Why not? Describe your culture in regard to the code And how did you become the person your code is describing or not describing if you did not agree with your 4-letter code? Items of interest for cultural bias. So identify and list exactly from the assessment at least 3 test items that you feel are culturally biased in some way. Justify and explain why you feel each item is biased and which population or cultural group you feel each item might be biased against. So just for instance, in other tests, if we're looking at urban language, then the culture that is being biased against could be rural areas. So, or vice versa. It might be geared towards the farming community or rural areas by describing such things as pastures or creeks, rivers, etc., things that aren't necessarily common in an urban environment. They don't have pastures, they have parks. So just little words like that might make a difference in how a test is conducted, or the meaning attributed to a test question. And then D, responses of other cultures from other cultures. At least 200 words. In-text citation required in this section. So you must have a citation. Citations mean that you are looking, you're doing research, you're getting peer evaluated or peer reviewed articles, and you're including them on cultural bias in assessment. So this is a vital aspect. I don't want you to lose any points on by not making. So you can't go to Wikipedia, you can't go to Newsweek Today. All of these things are not peer-reviewed articles. You need to go to. I would look up assessment journals and then look for articles within those journals. Okay. Explain how you responded, and just read through and complete each one of these. And the best way to do these things when you're writing this is to do them exactly in the order that they're presented here. So that as I'm reading through your papers, I can go, yes, 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 you've completed each of these bullet points, and it's easy to read, and you just follow the instructions. So, let's look at continued. Personal assessment report. This is going to be quite lengthy as well. And so the information is on page 76, the reason for the assessment, and just read through, answer each of these, write in a narrative form, so no bullet points, but write in an actual paragraph story form. Any significant medical, counseling history, substance use and abuse, vocational and educational history, other pertinent background information, mental status, and the assessment results. Okay. Summary and conclusions. What impact has these life factors had on how I see myself today, your personal self, your professional self, and what implications does this view of self have for me as I move into my future, for your personal self and your professional self. Since you are the client for the assignment, ignore the required information from page 77 and instead answer the questions listed below. Okay? It's important as you go through to read and make sure that you are paying attention to what is being asked of you to complete. The discussion board is here. And as you can see, there are your week 3 online assessment stuff. You can just follow the links. These will take you to the different personality factors test, the evaluations of attractiveness scales, etc. The Big 5 personality test, the artistic preferences scale, the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. Okay. And if you notice, at least 10 sentences are required. So please make sure that you are completing the assignment to the fullest. And in the last part here, we've got 12 chapter quizzes, one for each chapter, and each one is worth 15 points toward your final grade. So please complete these within the time frame as well. If you notice, if you've been to the blackboard, you've seen that you have this schedule is also in the course calendar, and it looks a little bit different. There's some red writing instead of all black, but it's the same information. And so this is what you are going to follow as far as when things are due. Like I said in my announcement yesterday, every week I'm going to introduce the chapters. You're not going to have the PowerPoints that will be available. You have your books that are also available. So please read through those, and I will just give you a very quick overview of the chapter that you're going to read for the week. Okay? So week 1 we have chapter 1, week 2 we have chapter 2 and chapter 3. So we go from history and testing in chapter 1 to ethical, legal, and professional issues in assessment, diagnosis, and the assessment process. Week 3 we have chapter 4, the assessment report process, interviewing the client and writing the report. Chapter 5 is test worthiness. Okay. Chapter 6, statistical concepts, making meaning out of raw scores. Chapter 7, statistical concepts, creating new scores to interpret test data. Okay. Rarely do we ever use raw scores. Those usually lead to some type of score that is easier to interpret. Week 5, Chapter 8 and Chapter 9. Chapter 8 is assessment of educational ability, survey battery, diagnostic, readiness, and cognitive ability tests. Chapter 9 is intellectual and cognitive functioning, intelligence testing, and neuropsychological assessment. Okay. Week 6, Chapter 10, career and occupational assessment, interest inventories, multiple aptitude, and special aptitude tests. Chapter 11, clinical assessment, objective and projective personality tests. And week 7, Chapter 12, informal assessment, observation, rating scales, classification methods, environmental assessment, records and personal documents, and performance-based assessments. Okay? So I see an error already. In week 7, too, it's not due by, obviously, July 18th or July 1st. It's actually going to be due August 18th. Okay? So I see one typo for you. I apologize. And let's look briefly at what is due in each of the weeks. So week 1, you'll watch this video, and I will also have a very brief video for the chapter. You will want to begin your rough draft and submit that so that I can start giving you feedback on that as well. And as you can see, there is a template in week 1. That link is there, so please use that. Chapter 2 and 3, again, I'm not doing a full video lecture. Nobody wants to sit for an hour watching me talk about stuff that you're reading anyway. I would rather you submit your questions, and I'll make a video answering any questions that you all have regarding the topic and the information. So that is the plan. So at the beginning of the week, I will introduce it, and by Thursday, any questions that are submitted, I will create a video answering those questions. They'll be anonymous, so if you just write me a question, I'm not going to say so-and-so wrote this question in and asked this question. I'm just going to answer the question. Okay? So week 2, we have chapter 2 and 3 are due. Please complete the quizzes for the first week as well. by the end of the week. So by July 14th, those will be due. Submit the rough draft of your impact of culture on assessment results reflection paper. Submit it in Word. There'll be a Dropbox and for the paper in week 2 link. Use this Dropbox for all of the drafts of this paper. And be sure to check the Dropbox daily after you submit it for my feedback. Make the required edits and then resubmit until the paper is complete. Okay? Week 3, Chapter 4 and 5 are due. Again, I will do a very brief video, maybe 5, no more than 10 minutes long, just introducing the topic and kind of what to expect in the chapter. And then you are responsible for reading the materials and using the PowerPoints so that you are able to take the quizzes. Chapter 4 and 5 quizzes will be due by the 21st of July, and your first discussion board will be due for week 3. And obviously not due by June 3rd. It will be due by July 21st. Save all of your results, and I will try to get this fixed. So the video may not match what's going on. I'm going to fix these. Begin the rough draft of the personal assessment report. Review the description and details. And in the personal assessment report, complete A, B, C, and D. Okay? All of that is due by July 21st. Chapter 6 and 7 due by July 28th. View the video lectures or introductions and complete the quizzes. Save all of your results from the online assessments. You'll need them. Complete the discussion board and make one comment on another student's post. For your personal assessment report, review the description and details and complete E, F, G, and H. Week 5, chapters 8 and 9 are due by August 4th. You will complete chapter 8 and 9 quizzes. I will have some introduction videos for those chapters. Submit the rough draft of your personal assessment report. That should be the full thing by this time. And again, in week 5, there will be a link for you to drop this in. So continue to work on it. Check your Dropbox daily after you've submitted it so that you will get my edits, complete those edits, and then complete the paper. After I make your initial edits and you make your initial corrections, I will review it again and there may be additional edits. So please do not get frustrated if I continue to make corrections. I do my best to get them all the way through the first time, but sometimes when we make changes, it also makes changes to the edits I would suggest. Week 6, chapters 10 and 11 are due by August 11th. Again, I will have introduction videos for those chapters, and you will complete chapters 10 and 11 quizzes. Nothing else is due that week. Week 7, chapter 12 is due by August 18th. View the video lecture for chapter 12, complete chapter 12 quiz, and all of your assignments should be turned in by August 18th. We do have week 8, however. If you are running a little bit behind, please communicate this to me if things are going on. I understand things happen in life, but I want to make sure that you are staying caught up as much as possible. I do not want you to lose too many points or get too far behind. So please maintain and stay with the plan as far as the weekly schedule goes. And last but not least is you do have a packet for review for your exit exam, which will be done according to your plan of your schedule. So please, if you have any questions, email me and I will be happy to post them. Post the answers, not your question and not your name, but just the questions, okay? So without anything else, that will be it. This is probably going to be one of the longest videos that you will have to watch if you watch the whole thing. I'll try not to make them any longer than 5 to 15 minutes. So, thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you or meeting you on Google Hangouts or however else we meet. Good luck with the course, and please, please, please stay in contact with me if you're falling behind or if you need additional help. All right? My whole goal is to help you be successful. And that's it.